What's up and welcome back to the shop. Fresh back from the Crybaby Nationals in Texas. What a great event. Had an awesome time. Got there Friday morning. It was freezing. I think the low when we got there around 6 o'clock in the morning was like 44. I think the high was like 52, 56. But it's the same for everybody. So first thing I did is I lowered my FDR. Stayed with my TSG Carbon Works based Patriot. Worked flawlessly now that the wheelie bar is figured out. So when we got there, I think my first pass, I can only try and remember, guys, no tickets, sorry. So it'll be kind of short. Like 220, worked my way down to like a 165 by the end of the day. Very happy, never been there before. Was on reds with Voodoo foams. I call them flat tires, and worked great. And then they had I guess an all-star race. When there was names called, I didn't hear my name, and I know I went at 65. I didn't hear much quicker, maybe some high 50s. So I figured I was in the top 20. So I asked the race director, Cassidy, what the bump was, and she said they didn't pick it by performance or anything. I said, oh, okay. So then I said to myself, they were going to do testing after the race, so I figured I would bust out Hyde and test it since I already tested Jekyll all day. Well, then the rain came, as everybody knows, and that didn't happen. So I got up the next day and just kept plucking away. The back half of the track, it was pretty bumpy for me. As you see, some people figured out, I believe the fastest pass was a 47, I think, by Travis, or maybe JFab or somebody, and my best was a 55. But for me, it was just the back half was real bumpy, and I bring everything I can. When I go to a race, I take my box and I pack it with everything that I think I needed for the race. Well, the one thing I forgot, which would have saved me, should have brought my shock valves. All I would have had to do is change from the small to the medium valve in the back, and the car would have been much, much better. Show you the tune-up real quick. There's my throttle curve. Again, this was all made just there, dealing with the track conditions like everybody else. My frequencies, that really helped the heat a lot. Not there, but when I was testing here in Florida where it's still kind of warm. I think the high Saturday was like 55, 70, excuse me, which was way better. I mean, the track just was way better. We could go a lot better. And then there's my boost and my timing. So I was on a total of 60, 70, 85 degrees. PJ1, man. If anybody runs on anything else, it's just a money grab. I mean, I hate to say it, because if this race didn't prove that the company that's been around 60 years, you guys have been watching me for 5, that's all I've been using. Hopefully save money, put more money so people can travel, you know what I'm saying? So they don't have to spend all that money unless you're gonna have a sponsored group of racers. Well, then you're only gonna have a group of racers. You're never gonna have new people. So let me show you the graph. Let me show you, oh, I hit that. Load it, I saved it. Oh, it's still trying to, it'll download it anyways. All right, hold on. Turn off my car. Oh no, can't yet, it's downloading. And I'll show you how little I was getting after it to get that 155, because again, we had to tiptoe on the surface. Another benefit of PJ1. Look, I didn't even have a point in my gun. Look, I mean, it stuck a little bit. This is a 55 pass. See how it tags the battery at the end? Well, what I realized is as you're coming through here, leaving it at 8.4, and that's as hard as you're supposed to, the launch is not there. So the battery is just boom. And as soon as it stuck and finally got hooked up at the end right there, it just bam, hit the battery. I was on the 7,000 Gen Ace there. But that's not why it did that. It's because it never used any battery, and then boom. But it's the same for everybody. I'm not gonna keep harping on that. So So yeah, I'm just tiptoeing through it, as you can see, going through at 73,000, but the last tenth of a second of the run is 6.6 because it's just finally loaded versus 7.2 and higher everywhere else. So let me show you the gun. Come off my car. Ended up losing. The final loss was as 167 to Piggy from Super Speed. He went at 167.0. I went at 167.4. Close race. I mean, it was awesome. Shout out to Cassidy. She had the hardest job. A lot of tough calls. She ran a great race, and she was fair and honest, and that's all anyone can ask when they come to a race. Let me show you the gun here real quick. These are my throttle speeds I was using. Look at the first box. You guys know that's usually at 100. It would have just blew the tires off. Again, the shocks would have been for the back half. It was leaving great, so I was getting to 100% about 7/10 of a second. And then I had no EPA. I wanted to say it was awesome getting to meet Eli, Aaron, hung out with Jaime, meeting Piggy, all the super guys. Shout out to JFab and all of his boys, man. They got there. They had the 2-3 hours of blowing and torching, and then for some reason, I don't know, I didn't ask, but it just kept seeping up in the left and right lane. They had to stop, and constantly clean that up, but yet provide a surface, a dry surface for competitive racing. Again, Cassidy, she did a killer job. Tommy Bird, I want to thank you real quick. He seen me struggling in the second round, as y'all did. He gave me some good tips. I tried them. It paid off. And then Lucas, man, thank you again for doing all this, putting on the race. It was killer. I hope people's eyes are open that we don't need to spend all that money. And ESCs and all the shit that goes with it, man. Just PJ1, I mean, the ground wasn't even sprayed. It was just virgin. It was crazy. And then the webs, after everything else, man, they guys always going around, putting on the shows for us. Without them, you guys couldn't see them. If that ones that can't make it. I hope you all have a great week, great holidays. We'll see you soon at the races.